All right, guys, welcome to the Everything Counts podcast. This is where discipline, mindset, and action collide. Here we cut through the excuses and expose the habits that hold men back. We share the tools that build strong fathers, leaders, and men who refuse to settle. Because in life, business, health, and fatherhood, everything counts. Every choice, every habit, every action, and every day. Mr. Co-host, George Azzi, how are you?
Good to be back, mate. Good to see you again, Smalley. I'm excited about this one.
What's the latest since last time I saw you?
Not much. Bit stressed today, actually. Yeah.
What's happened?
Bit stressed. Just work. People not turning up to work. You got to cover shifts, and you know how it is, mate. Just
How'd you make it here?
I made it here because this is a priority for me, mate.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Start to set priorities, and mate, you know how it is. Yeah.
Yep. Good.
Yeah. Times are tough, but you got to roll with the punches these days.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Do you want to welcome our next guest for us?
Yeah, well, mate, very excited about this. Mate of mine over 20 years, Jeffrey Morgan, good mate of mine.
Brother.
Let me read the intro. From prison cell to boardroom, this is where pain becomes purpose. Jeffrey Morgan isn't your average coach. He's a strategist, global entrepreneur, 2025 Global Awards Wellness Coach of the Year. Homeless at 12, 20 years behind bars, losing his parents to cancer, surviving suicide of his brother and sister. Jeff made a decision. No more excuses, only extreme ownership. He rebuilt his life from rock bottom and scaled it to a 7-figure global empire. Today, he's helped over 1 million people worldwide shift their mindsets, transform their habits, and reclaim their power, one decision at a time. Jeffro, you've worked with the NRL, the Australian Defence Force, and heaps of elite athletes. Mate, I could vouch for this bloke, mate. He's a real deal, Jeffro.
Well,
Good to have you
Jeffro,
on
thanks for
board.
coming on. Thanks. That's quite an intro. I was very impressed listening to that. So welcome to the show, Jeffro.
Mate, thanks for having me, and I'm impressed by even how you introduced it. And I just went, wow. Honestly, and I'm not because I'm here, but that's the best alignment of a podcast I've ever been on.
Oh,
just
thank
what
you.
you stand for, and obviously men in this day and age. I think it's a unbelievable and very much needed podcast.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
mate.
No, George and I just a couple of blokes having a crack.
Yep.
Two old mates, having a laugh and doing something we really enjoy. So thanks for being part of that, Jeffro.
Love that. Thanks for the opportunity, bro.
No, it's our pleasure. Mate, 12 years old, like leaving home or getting kicked out. What's the story there?
Just mum and dad dysfunctional. Best way to sum that up is Redfern Street. Redfern,
The
both
block.
out there. Yeah, it was just up the road from the block, and mum and dad asked me, who do you want to live with? That sums up that whole relationship and their own emotional intelligence. And, to ask a 10-year-old kid, or I don't even know what I was. I reckon I was 8 at that point in time. Is just crazy when you think about it. Choose my father. Oh, I don't choose my father. I think my father ended up sort of just taking the reins at that point in time. Mum was a bit caught up in the stolen generation as a proud Aboriginal woman, and I think she was dealing with a lot of trauma. And then dad took me in physically abusive. By the age of 12, I'd rather be on the streets than in family home, like any relationship on this planet is built on safety, security, and stability. I always use pyramids in what I call the pyramid of success, 10 different pyramids within that. And in relationships, safety, security, stability is important to any human being. And as a kid, if you have hang jump out of a window at 12 years of age, it tells you a lot about those three not being present.
So was it due to alcohol that he was violent, or?
Nah, Dad, I found out later. It was real fucking trippy, to be honest with yourself, how I found out. I unfortunately had a court case when I came home still after I'd spent a lot of time in custody, 20 years in jail. And when I came home, I had a court matter, and I got references of his sister, his brother. He'd passed on at this point in time. And just recently, I was going through emails, and then I'd seen the references. I don't even know how they ended up there because I don't believe I had this email. I don't know if an ex-partner had sent it there or something of that nature, but it basically said that my dad had been abused, physically abused by his grandfather had abused his father abused him, and apparently the priest, I don't know if it was what type of abuse, had done the same thing, but from what I heard, it was physical as well. So he just passed that on, it was like, he's the next person on part. As a football player, both of you have played football before, you pass on something that works well, and that might be to your child, and that child runs out on a football field and understands how to run a particular line, and that, that's what my dad passed on to me, physical violence. And I was that person as a young kid. I was like, you want to muck around, especially growing up in Everleigh Street, Redfern, as one of Australia's most notorious streets. You had to put on the bank robber mask, which, I finished as in that criminal career. And I think that was just, be violent, get to jail and go hard at it. And like, it's just crazy what we pass on and call normal.
Well, that's the thing. And abused becomes an abuser generally, but it's still a choice. And we always talk about that, Jeffro. Like, you still have a choice to be that abuser.
100%.
And I know you were growing up, but have you got children now?
Yeah, I've got 3 children.
Yeah, right.
So, 3 children.
And looked upon what your father did as motivation not to be that person?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did carry it from as a young kid, and I made bad choices as a young kid, man, just thinking it was normal. That's who we are, and this is how you deal with shit. And, as I matured, I looked at it and going, would I treat my mother like this, my auntie, my daughter, my sister, my niece? You wouldn't do that, so don't do that. And you wouldn't fight people and, your uncle, your grandfather on the streets for no reason because they looked at you funny. So why are you doing that? And I realized it wasn't what the person was doing. It was the emotions that I weren't dealing with inside myself. I was just built up with all this anger and hate for the world based on how my parents didn't love me. And I took that to the streets, and that's how it exploded.
Jeffrey, I know that childhood trauma carries with you for a bit. How do you deal with it now? Like, how do you go through, like, just dealing with sort of the fucking heartache?
Yeah,
with the heartache that you went through.
That's a good question. Like, I have to challenge myself constantly. I say to anybody that's been through it, run towards everything that makes you want to run the other way. So even leaving, it's crazy. My bedroom door, if you leave it ajar, trips me out because I think, as a kid, Dad was a baker, so he'd go to work and I was a young kid. He'd leave me by myself in this room, and the room was so dark, I'd see this monster or shadow or ghost I'd created in my head and stay up until I couldn't stay up anymore.
Yeah.
So when I see that door and coming from a criminal background, I'm like, fuck, is someone out there? Or, and I have to challenge myself. I say, leave it like that, and then challenge myself to just roll over and have my back to the door, which is counterintuitive to everything I learned growing up as a criminal, or making sure you're watching your space or stuff of that nature. And I know soldiers out there will understand it. You're not going to turn your back on, an open area that someone could shoot you, as an example. So it's just, challenge everything that challenges you, and you'll change your life. I call it your invisible backpack. What's in it? If you do not face that, you're going to carry that, and that's going to be a heavy life for yourself.
Bro, I know you were telling me that you were homeless at 12. Were you at school at all, or just dropped out totally?
Just gone. The
Wow.
School of Hard Knocks.
School of Hard Knocks,
entrepreneur.
yeah.
I was an entrepreneur at 12, man.
Yeah.
Like,
What were
I
you
went on
doing?
the streets.
What were you doing at 12 years old?
Breaking into places, and we got in. All we did first was get into a canteen to eat, me and my brother, and we were just chomping away at chips, packets of chips in big boxes back then. And one day we get under there, the back door of the canteen's open. They've left it open, and we're like, "Oh, what's in? Oh, Kit Kats, what? Oh,
Jackpot.
12-year-old, bro. We're bang. Love the Red Frogs. Open the Red Frogs. There's bundles of money. I'm like, far out. How good is food, money, love and life, And we're homeless at the time. We're sleeping on the travelator at the Domain at that time, and it was 500. I don't know. I've got to look that up. It's probably 500 meters long, the travelator. So if someone started walking, you'd feel the vibration.
Yeah.
And you get up and sort of look. You can imagine the broken sleep during the night.
Oh, yeah.
But not many people come through there at night, to be honest and real with you. But it was warm down there. But point to that is that just led to a life of crime and started breaking into places. If money's in this place, must be in all places. And then we found that was the case. And
Was it always you and your brother?
No, then it became more other homeless kids, I suppose, kids that were into graffiti at the time. Funnily enough, I've become one of Australia's most well-known graffiti artists back then.
Bagger.
Yeah. We had a crew, partners in crime. Anyone that knows graffiti, like, I've been in graffiti books the whole life, because that was my validation. I now mattered to the world. Oh, look, everyone knows me, and I, the girls and like.
What are they called? What are they called? Partners in crime.
Partners in crime. We were PIC, like that was our graffiti crew. But that crew became very famous because we went from that. Everyone knew us more because we were more about crime, and then we went into searching, which. A lot of people, and I've never really spoken about, but whether it's the Esche clothing these days, I was the, pioneer of all that in Australia. And people that know, they know. They'll say
know.
that's true. It's true. Ram raids, searching, all these topics that, came from the hood it was all innovative in what I created. You listen to Spanion's podcast, he says you're a hood superstar. Because I created all these innovative ways of doing crime. Even true to the bank robberies we did. We didn't just run in and do the usual suspects saying, give me the money, cocksucker, mothers.
Yeah.
It was more like, I'm going to go in and take the whole money out of the vault, sledgehammer that open, take that money and go. And we were a very well-known crew that travelled across Australia robbing banks, and to the point where we were so well-known and so well-respected, not only in the criminal world, but even the police, when we were arrested, they usually bash the shit out of you. They just were like, we actually love how you operate. In a sense, I'd say it was more, they wouldn't love how we operated because they're against crime, but they were in awe of how we actually executed, you know.
What goes into leading up to a bank robbery? What sort of planning goes into like watching the bank, you know, finding out who's working there?
That's
what does that look like?
It'd be more like where's a vault sort of in the bank for us as an example, and then the escape route. We'd drive that at night in the car that we had, and we'd do it at full speed. So like you knew any bumps, any holes, any crossings, speed bumps, stuff of that nature. And for us, that allowed us to understand what we'll get. Like it's like a footy team. You're going out and, you know, here's a block play, here's whatever play it is.
Training.
You're training for it because I ran with a backpack, so I knew how much a particular amount of money was. And I put that same weight into a backpack and ran with it. Why? Because that's what's going to happen. The car might crash. The
running
wheel
with
might,
a backpack with weight in it.
Exactly. Jumping fences with it, the whole lot.
Yeah.
So
Really? Wow.
the reason why you do that, I took it really serious. And, you know, when I say took it serious, it became an occupation. And that's where, you know, if you're going to, what are the hazards within that occupation, which is crazy because now we do psychosocial hazard training, which means, you know, mental health and well-being. How do you stop it before it gets to that? Most people are reactive, not proactive, and that's what we did in the bank robberies. Where would you park the car so no one, preferably not saw the car, even though we had usually a luxury AMG or something, M5 BMW.
Or a stolen one or a body?
Definitely stolen. The last one was a M5. And I say that when I laugh, like I say that because we're talking about that time. If we're coming on a podcast, let's be fucking real about what we're talking about. At that point in time, it was great. We felt great. We thought it was great, but we exchanged it for time. So it wasn't fucking great.
Yeah.
But it's just, you've got to understand, people got to understand on these podcasts, we're not promoting crime. We're just talking about who I used to be. That person's dead, buried, gone. But the planning was all about, you know, what type of bag. Because you take a small bag in and there's this much money in the bag's this small, you got a problem.
Is it greed where you just go, I've got to take it all, I've got to stuff it into my pockets, or you just take whatever you can? If you're going to do something
that risks your freedom, I think take it all. You know, like it's like, and it's the old mentality.
How do you know how much money's in the bank?
You don't. You just, it's like an all-in thing. But you know that on particular days they'll probably have more money. So by the end of the week, Fridays, you know, as an example, everyone's deposited and Armour Guard's going to pick it up, maybe on a Thursday or even Friday early morning, pump them, and before the Armour Guard would come and pick that up back in the day, or, you know, they transfer that to another location. But sometimes you'd get tips that big money would be dropped off, and it's just, you know, we live in a world where anyone can be bought off, and that's just a reality. Whether you work on the docks, whether you work, there's, you know, it's common public knowledge. So I'm not telling anyone something they don't know, but you could pay Armour Guards off. You could pay.
What does turn a blind eye to what's going on? You
just
mean?
give you a tip where to be or how to be there or what location. And people, you know, and then you've got people already like us that, like people who are experts in their field. We're trying to give it. We're going all in. So that means like what I commit to. I wake up, you know, breathe, dream, think this one thing. You ain't going to stop it. It's coming. The steamroller's coming. And it was like the Broncos last year. It's just like they were just going to win, man. And the same thing, I was always going to win if I stepped in a space.
So how many are involved in a bank robbery?
It just depends. It could be two people. It could be one person. People have done it 1 out. Some people have done it 4 out. Some people have done it with like groups of 8.
Yeah.
And what sort of money can you walk away with?
over $1 million.
Yep.
So
Come on, man.
when
So
you
are you
sledgehammer the vault, you're
Listen.
not going to from the front drawers. I can tell you, and this is on average would be about if you done all the front. When I say the front drawers, there used to be drawers. They'd have nothing. They'd have like 20K maybe. So if there's 4K, 4 drawers, that's 80K. But underneath that was little safes, and those little safes would have like, you know, if it got to 10K, they put the money in. If they got to 5K or 50s, they put the money in. So that might have another 150K in it. So you get about 200 plus K from the front drawers if you did it properly. But most bank robbers I knew and I met in jail, they just run and give me the money and they get the draw money. So they get 50 grand or, 15 grand. 2 co-accused just got convicted last week and sentenced to 11 years, my old crew.
Yeah.
And they were, I seen on the news that it was $15,000 that they took away from that bank robbery. So,
Whoa, yeah.
Hardly worth it, is it?
and even then, like, and I mean this nicely to those two, I just feel like I operated at a different level. I wouldn't accept that. If
Yeah.
I went, I would have sledgehammered the vault, and I ain't coming out until I do it.
But-
Tell me through. So you get away with the money. So what happens? Do you celebrate? You got $1 million.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
it's enough to
Yeah.
like if it's
Absolutely.
like 1 or 2 of you, it's enough to live pretty comfortably for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you celebrate after that? Then do you start planning the next one? How does it work?
You just, when I say celebrate, you probably just go and have a feed together because you want to be as low on the radar as possible
Yeah.
because police are going to get out and have a look at what you're doing. So, like, yeah, we'll just catch up and grab a feed. Like,
Were you on the
normally.
radar with the cops already?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
My nickname with a couple of the coppers was the Duck. And I was like, the Duck?
Yeah.
And he goes, mate, you're calm on top of water. Your fucking
And you
feet
just,
are going
and
like
just
this.
planning the next.
Right.
Yeah,
You're planning
so-
the next one.
Yeah, I think it depends on the amount of money, and we were searching in between that. To be honest, so you distract the shopkeeper, go at the back them, open a safe, and you could get you could get up to. There's people that got hundreds of thousands of dollars, but in general, in a day, you could honestly make 20 grand each,
Wow.
and we'd do that every single day. And
Really?
back then there wasn't any cameras, or they'd have the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
So you just press
Eject.
eject and
Yeah,
take
take
the
it,
tape
yeah.
with you. Even in the current age, but it's got to be. That's why I sort of started to get out of crime too, because I just realised even if you somehow erased it, it'd probably store somewhere on a disc. They get a copy and
Yeah.
you're cooked. So I was like, you know what, that there was a whole heap of other stuff that led to me sort of just giving up that life.
You know, Jeff, I've known you for probably 20 years, right? We've
Yeah.
got a bit of history together. I've always known you to be this cool, calm, collected dude, bro.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I didn't really know about this history that you had, man. It's actually nuts. So
It's crazy because when I met him,
yeah,
I just didn't tell any. No one knew.
no,
And
no,
I built
and no
my-
way you would have picked it either.
I built my success on and being, just working hard, man.
Yeah.
I come home 16 years ago
Yeah, bro.
and just didn't
sure.
literally tell anybody anything. Came
Definitely
out
the
and
hardest
worked
worker in the room, bro. Definitely the
No,
hardest
that's
worker in
all
the
it
room.
was.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Did
But
you do
what
it-
type of person were you? What type of were you this calm like during that time of your life, or
Absolutely.
Oh, so you were just calm, collected
Calm,
the whole
but
time?
I had a lot of anger. So if someone, fuck with me, I just
It's on.
unleash, man. And to me, I remember when Bondi happened in the mall,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh fuck, I wish I was there." And they're like, "Oh, what would you have done, mate?" We were just built different. And
Yeah.
if you were around us and you saw what happened, and even if it happened in front of me now, that they'd say if he was the hero, because I'd pick this up, I'd pick that up. I'd,
Yeah. Different.
I'd
Yeah.
run
So
towards him and
is there a
say,
point in your life where you go, you know what, you can't do that anymore, and I don't want to give up more of my life because of that ego or violence?
absolutely.
You wake up and go, you know what, I've got to park that ego and go, I'm a man now. I've got to learn from that.
And that's maturity. I think maturity, you have to look at yourself and pull yourself up on your own bullshit. I was like, I'm staunch.
Yeah.
With me, I'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Fucked up my own kids, like I was staunch, not dobbing in my mates. Say you were two of my mates in that bank robbery crew, but I brought these kids into the world and wasn't there as a father.
Wasn't
That's
there as
not
a dad.
fucking staunch.
No.
So
So how old were your kids when you got out?
15 plus.
Right.
Yeah, at that point in time. And I went in and out, like the last one was 7 years, one before that was 5 years. There was a 6-month break in between those two.
Yeah.
And I just, you have to look at yourself, and this is for all men out there, and stop, the bullshit. Oh, yeah, I'm sweet, brother. How you traveling? Yeah, Smallsy. I'm all good, bro. How you been? Knowing that you're broke, you're broken, you can't talk, your ego and pride get in the way. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me these days, and I'll tell you all the bad stuff that I did. And when I say bad stuff, I'll reframe that to uneducated stuff, ill-informed, uninformed stuff that I did. And that means that I'm not justifying it, or I take total ownership and accountability to it. I just didn't know any fucking better. And when you're built a specific way, and I say to people out there, they go, "That's bullshit, mate. You knew what you're doing." Let me tell you, you know what you're doing when you go to work every single day, making money for your family, being noble and strong. Agreed? But there's a potential out there on YouTube to make millions of dollars. People just don't take the action because they're too busy. I don't have time to do it. I was too busy running in survival mode, getting chased by the lion. Imagine a lion's chasing you. Smallsy, tell me your goals. You'd be like, fuck my goals, fucking jump up the tree, bro.
Yeah.
And Georgie, tell it, you fucking run, you idiot. That's just the reality of the world. And
You're surviving.
Yeah, and that families are doing it right now every single day. Bro, I've got to pay my bills for my kids.
Yeah.
But then leaving their kids wishing that they could pick their kids up from school or drop them off or spend more time with them.
They're saying it's a choice.
Oh, it's more once you're built into a habit, you are that version until you have a realization where you consciously decide on that. And it's hard to do when you're too busy, don't have time, or, dedicate time to saying, fuck, what am I actually doing? And is this truly serving me? Because I was like, this is a great lifestyle, penthouses, women in the penthouses, money. I'm driving the Porsche Targa last time I rested in Melbourne. And it's a mad life. I'll travel anywhere I want, first class, business class, like that. I don't care. What a mad life. I was living in a banger house, but I exchanged that when police kicked the door in, and I don't spend time with my kids, and that's devastating, man. So we on the outside, it's the same thing. We live behind the craziest thing, 20 years pretty crazy in jail. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah.
People live their whole life behind the prison of their own eyes.
Yeah.
And when you understand that concept, that's like, oh yeah, but I got to pay my bills. And I'm like, I don't disagree with you.
That's slavery in itself, isn't it?
That's right, because you're not consciously saying, is there another option available? And there is. You can find it. If you go looking for it, you got to work for it. And that's what I did. I came out consciously in a cell and said, I'm not fucking working in an office. I'll go out, I'll be a trainer, but I'm going to work towards something. And my something now, last week, we were talking 4 weeks home last year because I traveled so much with the work I do. And that just meant that I love life. I'm living life. I'm seeing culture. I'm seeing different people. I'm learning different things, seeing beautiful, parts of this country, other countries, and getting paid for it. So if I can do it, anybody on this planet can do it.
What are some of the things that you're teaching your kids? Like, you got a wealth of knowledge to share with your children, and have you got boys, girls, mix?
So I got one boy and two girls. Bad relationship with. Well, I won't say bad relationship. My son's not. It's hurt him so much that we don't really talk. To be honest, I'll text, but get an odd text here and there. Daughter comes in and out, and I can understand they were older. So I can understand how they feel like you left us posted, you're not no father. And who I was back then, I wasn't a nice person to anybody, let alone, whether they've heard the stories about me or whether they've seen the stories about me. What will happen is if I treat you bad from their first experience, that more goes, whatever you label me as, that's carried on. And that's carried on with my kids. So hard relationship with the son, somewhat hard with the oldest daughter, and then my youngest daughter, who's 11, same thing, better relationship, but one that's not really there either because it was born out of just a moment where, seeing some girl at one point in time, and respectfully to her too, we weren't in a relationship and something happened, and the child's, they live out at Penrith Way and I live in the city, and it just doesn't work, So
what are you doing and trying to fix that with your son and your daughter?
You just text and you hope, and that's all you can do.
Try and mend,
You know what? That really highlights the foundation with a child, right? You hear a lot of men saying, I'm going to work hard while they're young to enjoy it later. But I think the crucial part, which back to your point, Morgo, is you missed out on that early point with your children, which is their foundation. And that's where it counts.
You want to be there when they're young.
You gotta be there when they're young, so when
we were talking
they're
about this the
older.
other day.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other day. It's your choice not to make the carnivals, your choice. But sometimes, like you said, mate, when you're stuck behind the prison of your own world, mate, you've
Make
got no
those
choice.
carnivals, because I wish I could, my kid, my son played AFL. I was playing AFL when I came home. I was locked up in Victoria. So when I came home, came back, played Sydney Premier League here, and he came out, started watching, then he got into it, played with the GWS when they first come in through the juniors. And then things happen, split
So it was a bit of a gun.
Yeah, he was good, man.
Yeah.
He was very athletic. Obviously, took the genes. He was taller than me, I tell you that.
I've heard you say that, but about
listen,
your
listen,
took the
listen.
genes.
He was
Hey.
Lebanese too.
Yeah.
He's Lebanese too.
Me and Jeffro, we were probably the only ones that played rep footy when we were working back in the day, right? And we used to
Where
talk
he's
about it
working
all
at?
the time. Working at Box HQ.
Box
Big shout out
HQ.
to Box HQ.
What's
And
box?
that- and-
What's that?
It's like a gym.
It was,
Oh,
a,
right.
it
That's
was a
where I met
really
him,
good
yeah.
model of a gym,
It was a
actually,
great gym, yeah.
on the level of business, because they had CrossFit in one side, but they had a glass mirror, so you could see them going at it
Yeah.
while you're working out
While you're
in the
working
gym.
out.
And it just motivated.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Get into it. And it was
Yeah.
built really well. A big lesson out of that, and when they transition, and Stu, big shout out to you, bro.
Big
but
shout out to
they
Stu, big
said
fan of the show.
They were like, they had protein shakes for every foundation member. And I remember him saying to me, I'm going to take the protein shakes away. It takes up time, money. I was like, how much money? And it's $300. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stu. Comment below.
Comment.
But I'm pretty sure he said it was $300 a week. I was $300 a week. If you take that away after you told them you give it to them, and this is a business lesson, I go, they're not going to be happy. And someone had built out or was building out another gym down on the water there. And, mate, as soon as he took it, I don't know, hundreds
bounced.
went out the door.
Yeah, they bounced. Yeah, I remember that.
And you can't, and this is a lesson from that as well. And even referring back to my kids, I can't say, I'm your father and then not be your father.
And not be your
and
father,
then,
yeah.
And you can't say, I'm going to look after you and give you that for the rest of your life, love or the protein shake or money or care or whatever it is, and then not do it. The person disconnects. My kids have. Those members did, and take those lessons and make them your blessings, man, because don't be me or don't be Stu. Sorry, Stu.
Don't be Stu. Don't be Stu.
Love you, Stu.
Hey, bro, I just wanted to bring something back. I don't want to keep harping up about the bank robbery. But
Yeah.
I grew up small, you too. We grew up watching movies like Point Break and The Town and stuff like that.
Everyone did.
Brother, like, the money that you're coming out with, like, at what point do you say, listen, like, I'm set, like, enough's enough?
The biggest thing, it's like, anyone that wins lotto, you always hear the story, they end up losing all the money.
Yeah.
We didn't have the financial literacy to be able to use the money. What are you
Yeah.
going to use the money on? More girls or partying
Cash,
or
and it's all
traveling?
cash.
And it's all cash. So it's like, mate, if we had done the right thing the right way, some people did, I'll put it that way,
Yeah.
then things will work out. But most don't know how to do that. And that's what happens with probably 99% of those involved in criminal behavior. There's no exit plan or exit strategy. Like as a business, when you build it, I always say to people, because we obviously help businesses build out, scale out, build it to get to a point where you sell it or you acquire other businesses, scale it and build it and sell it as well. So the problem is, what do you like? They didn't have that mentality, and all they're doing is spending it on feeling better. And that should be a sign to Australia, the whole world. Why do they do it? It's about validation of what you never got in your family home. And even if you had a good, hardworking mother and father, they always say, we gave our kids everything. You didn't give your kids everything, because I work with kids as well. What you're not giving them is a hug. What you're not doing is going to those carnivals. 100%. What you're not doing, because I don't have time, we're too busy, I'll get the babysitter, the carer, whatever.
And it's not even the poor kids; it's the rich kids that miss out on that. Parents are always out there working and like
working hard, right?
Working hard,
noble, respected.
Yeah,
but put in your diary, and it's something we do with our corporate leadership and wellbeing programs. Time for yourself with your kids, and put it into the whole organisation, and you'll get a better, far functioning workplace than you've ever had. Because now people go home and they feel good to be able to spend time with their kids. Even if you say, hey, the work time's from 9 to 5, but at 3 o'clock, go and pick your kid up, go home, clock onto the computer after you've spent an hour with the kid.
Yeah.
You spend an hour with the kid gets bored anyway.
Uninterrupted as well with no
Uninterrupted.
phones, yeah.
Put your phone aside. As men, same thing. Like as soon as you get in the habit, challenge yourself. Remember I said talking about challenging yourself. I was just in this book, 1 Minute Reset. Big shout out to Heidi Horn. Read that. It's about 1 minute resets. What are yours? Like even build your own. And grab those 1 minutes and plug that into yourself when you get home, where 1 minute reset is don't pick your phone up. First thing in the morning, don't pick your phone up. So I don't post that much these days. I used to post, I get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I post then. Now I'm just like, I'll post later on in the day, or I'll just structure the posts on a Sunday, send them out during the week if I want to post because something's come up, I'm on a podcast or something. But in general, that means that you're giving quality time to you. Me and you were talking, and I'm looking at you. What was that, brother? What did you say? The last thing you want to do in a relationship, you go out to dinner on a first date, and I'm on my phone. You're gone. You're cooked. Agreed. So, imagine doing that to your kid and how much they feel that they matter, or your partner, or even your family members or friends. Be present. Just throw your phones, leave them at the front door and get in that habit. Even when you go to bed, don't have that EMF near your bed. Put it out in the lounge room and put the alarm on and let it wake you up so you're walking out of the bedroom.
You're getting out of bed to turn it off.
You're getting that done.
But you strike me as someone that's got some pretty good habits now that you're on the straight and narrow. What are some of the habits you live by now?
Oh, man, I think the biggest one for me, and I share this with her, have a weekly planner. I call it your GPS to life. You agree if I say, come over to my house tomorrow, we'll have a barbecue after this, you've never been there, I give you the address, you turn on the GPS. Agreed? Most people don't turn on what I call that A to B of life. A is when you're born, B is when you die. What do you want to get out of it? How do you know what you're doing next week if you don't even have a GPS switched on? So my weekly planner, it's not in my phone. I physically write that out so I remember the intention and direction of what I want from next week. So I've got to meet for the podcast. I've got to then go from here and write about the book. I then go and, focus on, and I break them into elements. This is important as well. People do they're just, they have this list rather than saying, all right, this is for marketing for my business. Say it's World Gym at Macquarie Park. Big shout out to you. Here's marketing, here's sales, here's BD, business development, here's PD. Because if I don't develop myself personally and business is going well, I'm going to sabotage the business. So I'm putting in that time into myself just as much as I put into my business, my world, my kids, my life. And that I can't tell you how much that helps me. And then color code it. Why do you color code it? Because then you can see, you always see balance. If you have a look and you see balance of work is just green, or life is green, 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 say it was green, work was green, and it's all green, when are you living?
Are you writing this down on a piece of paper and highlighting it?
Every Friday. So if anyone wants that, I'm happy to pass that on. And I don't know if you can attach it to the session. I'm happy to pass that on to anybody. Yeah. But it's not only the whole week that you write out. I'll do that on a Friday so I know what's coming for the next week and who I'm catching up. What are my intentions in the podcast? What's their podcast about? Put a bit of time and effort into it. I call it teeing off, time, energy and effort. You tee off into a round of golf as men. Tee off into a round of life through your GPS to life by being intentional and directional. Here's what I'm doing this time. Because at work, if we got a meeting, everyone agree, 9 o'clock I got to read George, then 10 o'clock Smallsy, then 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Morgs. We show up to that relentlessly and we'll show up early, right? Do that for your life. Do it for your kids, your partner, the intentions of what you want to get out of it. And I guarantee you'll see that balance in that. And even for us with our staff, the balance is, the report needs to be in by 4 or whatever it is. How you do that, I don't care. Here's some suggestions. How you do that for yourself is up to you. So go and make sure you get an hour worth of gym time. I'll pay you for it. Show me that you went. If you didn't show me, I won't pay you for it.
What do you mean pay you?
So if they go and train during work hours, I don't care. Go and train. Do you know why? They'll be more proactive and productive. Why? Because they're actually doing something that they feel great for themselves. Whereas most would go, that's not you're not doing that on my time. Well, guess what I've just done to you two if you're my staff? I've said to you proactively that I want you to be healthy and happy and feel better, and we know the benefits of exercise. Why wouldn't you pay your staff? Go and train. Because most of them will say, I don't have time. Guess what? Now you got time. You got an hour.
That's a really good way.
And you'll get an extra,
Yeah,
extra footy extra even for your own stuff, Georgie, because it's in a gym.
Yeah.
You're saying you train, I'll pay for that hour while you're in work, in the work hour, and people will go, what? And then half an hour of just time out to yourself. Now, people go, you're crazy. But I guarantee my staff will outwork your staff for two reasons. They feel better, function better, look better, healthier. Plus, then we use AI to plug in and make sure that we can compress time. And if you need to, get VAs involved outside of that, and I'll pay for that VA to be a part of your team. An extension, so you're not doing the small stuff that you're not meant to be doing. You're focusing on what you're great at. Marketing, great. I don't need you typing in the whole marketing plan 10 years long or developing that constantly when somebody else could do that.
So how big's your team
admin.
now, Morgo?
Go again?
How big's your team?
22 now, so we've got
And
20.
everyone's training?
Everyone's training.
Really?
If you don't train, you don't start with this.
Wow,
Really?
That's
pretty
it.
good.
Because, like, to me, I've 20 years in jail. There's times where I've thought about not being here, and training saved me. Training's been the number one thing that's always made me feel that I'm worthy enough or good enough or feel strong enough or mentally strong enough. Because there's days where I couldn't be fucked. Like, let's be
That's
real.
the thing. A lot of people assume people that are driven like yourself, he loves it. But it might be 20% of the time you get up in the morning and go, you know what, I'm on
I can't
it.
wait to rip in, yeah.
But the other 80%, you're dragging yourself there. But once you get the ball rolling, it becomes easy.
I
It's just a
agree.
matter of getting the wheels in motion. And once the wheels are in motion, you walk out there going, I'm so glad I came here.
Because I think that's
Love
a difference, Smalley. That's the difference between successful businessmen and people that are just mediocre, really.
Absolutely.
The guys that push themselves out of bed and just get there and get it done.
Doing things you don't want to do.
Yeah,
or making
doing
it
things
look
you don't
like
wanna do, yeah.
Making it look like you
Mike
want to do it.
Tyson said that
Yeah.
discipline is doing what you hate doing, but doing it
Yeah.
like you love it anyway. And that's like, there's days I couldn't be, but I just walk down because I'm like, everything, remember I said at the start, everything you don't want to do, run towards it.
Run towards it.
Because I'm like, oh, fuck, I couldn't be fucked doing a workout today. And I'm like, but the other thing to it, I'd say ask these four things. What's your vision, purpose, and why for it? Answer those three separately. What's your vision for it? Oh, I want to be healthier, live longer. For me, as an Aboriginal man, we die early. I don't want to be another stat that dies early and be on
Why is that,
medication.
by the way? Why is that?
Just choices within our community. Like a lot of trauma, financially, we're not able to buy what others would buy as a collective. There's people out there doing great things in our community too. That, I just seen one, Brad Gimbert, who's Indigenous wealth, just bought himself a nice R8. So there's people out there doing great things too. But
our mate Joe Williams too. Big shout out to Big Joe Williams.
There's people out there doing great stuff.
Great.
In mining, in anything across this country. But in general, Aboriginal people have just got. We came from a background. If we use that background, I used it from a young age. Arnie's book was Encyclopedia of Training was out, the big grey and black one, and I'd read that. And I wanted to be shredded as a young kid and get all the girls and all, like the pride and ego. Anyway, long story short, the ancestors, you type in Aboriginal ancestors and they are shredded. Six-packed up to the max, intercostals showing. And I'm like, how did they get that? They ate from the land and they moved. So when I was early, I worked that out, probably 14. I said, I'm going to do those two things and see how we go. I was into training at that point in time. Arnie was out, and I just combined that, and I was shredded, man. I was like, easy money. I got a system. And then I became a qualified nutritionist, and I really understood the system. Said, man, I'll just eat from the land. When I eat an ice cream, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to,
Because you've been shredded the whole time I've known you.
Yeah. And I'm 52,
what do you
still
52,
shredded.
and he looks better than you, Smalley.
Yeah, like to me.
I beg to differ.
To me, it's just about going back to what's your vision behind it. So live longer. What's your why behind it? I don't want to feel like shit every day. And if you are feeling like shit, and this is where you have to be conscious. Why do I want to do this action? What's training do for me? For those that are uninformed, and then you go, oh wow, it makes you feel better, your mental clarity or whatever it is, sleep better, feel better, function better, look better, all of the above. Beautiful, I'll do that. Purpose of it, for me, the purpose is to show my kids or to show myself I can or whatever it is that you come up with. And then the last one, what's the mission from it? And the mission is to get for me to look like my ancestors. Not to when I was a kid, it was pride and ego and get the girls and have the six pack. Now it's for better quality of life. So I feel better, function better, look better, and that's ultimately
Make better decisions.
Yeah,
really.
and
What's sort of been the feedback amongst your community with what you're doing? Has there been a bit of tall poppy syndrome, or everyone's encouraging
for
you?
sure, man, because we come from a country that's just tall poppy syndrome. So even our community is very insular, like it's 3% of the Australian population. But you look, and stat might have changed now, but in general, if you stick your head out, money's and everything. So it's like they call you uptown. You think he's uptown, coconut, black on the outside, white on the inside. Like you get all these names. And Brad, who's with Indigenous Wealth, doing the same thing, no doubt bought himself the R8 and RSA, and they're looking at him going, come on, bro, like what are you? That's not us. The biggest thing I say to people is you've got to continuously move forward in this day and age, and people say that's not blackfella ways. And like so, commenting, I don't say this, but like, I could say it, but I don't give it my tea, time, energy, and effort. I just say. Is commenting off a phone wearing clothes after you've eaten from a fast food store blackfella stuff. It's not. So you're using a narrative because I succeeded and you didn't. And it's no disrespect. Do you want to win with me? If you do, I'll bring you. But if you want to knock me and just get at me, I wish you all the best. I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to be in a circle of people that just want to tear me down or destroy me. If anyone says anything about someone, the old analogy is say something good. Love what Morgs is doing. How do I do it, brother? Love to do it. The biggest thing for me with culture is do not lose culture. Where you come from, who you are, and what you're about. So I'm learning off my uncles about language. I'm learning off my people about culture. I'm learning off other people within our culture about the history of it, etc., etc. So that's how, I don't need to prove to anyone. Here's my receipts of what I did. I studied for 1 hour, watched this documentary on our people, read a book for 1 hour. It's just what you plug into yourself and what you truly know when you look in that mirror tomorrow morning. You're full of shit, Morgs, and that would have been Morgs 20 years ago, but that version's dead and buried. Show up to yourself every single day and you'll live a great life.
And that's the thing. If you're not, if no one's talking about you, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
If people are talking about you, discouraging you or encouraging you, you're doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you'd want to think that you're bringing your people with you. That's what you want to hope, right?
I just want to bring the whole world, man,
Yeah.
because I didn't have going back to that uneducated, uninformed kid, I didn't have the role model, and most of us don't. We got a role model, don't get me wrong, your parents or grandparents or whoever your care is that brought you up, plus your teachers, educators as you go along, trainers, whatever it is, right? But it's just some people don't have access to a personal trainer or a gym because they don't have the money, but you do have access to online, YouTube, and if you can't read and write, watch a video and find a way to make it happen for yourself. And
There's no excuse now.
It's
Honestly,
so much easier now. Like everything's so accessible these days, mate. And
like,
kids know.
Even mentors, like Luke Milton came on the podcast the other week from Training Mate, and he goes, you might not have a mentor, but it might be someone you watch on YouTube who becomes your mentor that you don't actually know.
100%.
And just follow what he's doing. Or she.
I learned from Jim Rohn when I was a kid, and you learn by buying the program. They sent it to you back then. There was no internet, and then you read the material and participated, sent it back, and then you passed, and that was it. And Jim, for me, you just got to put some tea into your weekly planner so that you got a GPS to life, and it's important enough to you behind your vision, purpose, and why, and make that your mission for life, and watch what happens. Like if I can be dysfunctional, destructive, violent, toxic, you name it, I was it, and I can be here now and work with global organizations, athletes, just human beings across all levels of life. Then anyone can do anything. It's just a matter of what you tell yourself.
Jeff, I'm sort of taken. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sort of taken back by the maturity and sort of the knowledge you have now. Where did all this education start? Was it when you were inside, or was it when you come out and sort of opened your eyes?
Funny enough, inside when I was a kid, I got locked up, and the boys who went to private schools from our area played football with them, but then they got locked up. For a serious crime. They did many years, and while they were locked up, they're like, come up to education. And I was like, education. Don't worry about that bullshit. I'll make money my way. And
Yeah.
and they're like, no, come up, Morg. So I get up there and, long story short, I just start doing education. I do my year 10, year 11, a bit of year 12, and then get out, do the year 12 outside. Then when I went to jail, parole, like I got 10 years with 7 on the bottom for my last bank robbery in Melbourne. So if you're good, you get out after 7 years. If you're bad, you're fighting in there, taking drugs, you get out after 10 years, right? Victims sort of jack up about it. But I wanted to always get out on my non-parole period, which is the first available date. So I always went to education and did shit. I'm going to get out on the earliest date, you know. Yeah. But by doing it, you just matured anyway. And then
so I sort of done it just to tick the boxes first of all, and then
that's all it was to get parole, be straight out. And
unknowingly learned all this stuff.
Yeah, and as you did it, you're like, oh, there's another way out there, man. Yeah. Like, how are people buying these Ferraris and getting these girls and living in those penthouses that I want? This is obviously the path they've taken, and I just was going all in on everything I did. And then when you come home, I started to watch YouTube, and there's mentors like you spoke about that to this day, they're ingrained in me to, if I need, and I do this every morning when I first get up, I jump in the shower, I've got a speaker that's waterproof, and I turn on a podcast off YouTube. And when I say a podcast, there's so many now that are clipped, so you could get George talking, you talking, and then like these power shorts.
Yeah, shorts.
And I'm just like, wow, bang, bang, bang. And it's just like...
It's amazing how educational they could be. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
once you sit down...
In saying that, though, you got to be really careful, I think, because you can read books till the cows come home and watch videos till the cows come home. It's doing what's in the video.
Yeah,
you can just
implement. Yeah, once you implement what you see, that's
right.
That's where
like
it changes.
you can listen to it and justify going, I'm learning, I'm doing more, or I'm researching. I remember starting my undie brand, and Jake goes, "What's going on?" I'm researching, I'm testing, I'm doing this. He goes, "Hit the button, man. Hit the button. That's how you learn.
That.
Go
Pull
hard.
the trigger. Let's go.
100%.
Yeah,
Let's just do it." Because so many guys read book after book after book. I'm like, what have you done in the book? What
knowledge
have you done?
isn't power without application. Yeah. So I always say that in my workshop.
What was that?
Knowledge, I said, is knowledge power? And they go, yeah. I said, no, it's not. And they go, would anyone want to discuss this with me? And they're all sitting there, they're thinking. And I said, why wouldn't it be power? And they said, because you're not applying the knowledge. I said, that's true. So knowledge isn't power without application. Yeah. And that it's everywhere. To make $1 million, to build a better house, to find peace, to have better relate, whatever it is that you see, go to YouTube and then just be mindful of this. This is what I call due diligence. Have a look at the person's background. How long have Tony Robbins, he's done it for X amount of years. He's changed thousands of lives. It's a no-brainer. If Joe Bloggs is saying, come work with me, I'll change your life, and he's 16, driving a rented Ferrari or Lamborghini, you can have what I have, and next week he's collecting the pension, racking up down at the local pub when you bump in. Hey, bro, you want a wine? You just got to know who you're committing your time to. And that's what I've done. I've been so super diligent about who I let in around the knowledge that I acquire that becomes a part of my DNA, like literally in my cells. So when I speak and operate, people speak about you. So Spanian saying hood superstar, I didn't say, hey, Span, here's $100, bro. When I jump on, reckon you could say this for me? It was my actions as a kid that causes that reaction. And if you can have that same mentality, you'll create a better reality about how you are as an individual. Like, here's what I do. I go and train all the time. Smalls is fit as, bro. Like, people talk about him because they know that that's him. He doesn't have to tell people that. Be that person for yourself around what you want from this life, and you'll live a magical life.
What would you say to, for someone sort of starting out on this sort of personal growth journey, a lot of guys, I would think, set the bar too high.
Yeah.
So you're looking at someone so far beyond where you are that you start trying, you go, it's too far away. And I was saying, tell me what you think, Morgs, is you should set the bar lower and then achieve that. It's like the first step. The first step can't be this huge step because then eventually you give up. How important do you think it is to sort of start small and sort of build?
What are we talking about? Like short-term and long-term goals start off with a lot of short-term goals.
But I'm talking about mentors and looking up to someone and going, well, I want to be like him. But being like him, like say if I want to be like, you want to be Anthony Robbins, Anthony Robbins has got $1 billion business, which is so far beyond any of us. Why don't you set your goals towards someone like a little bit like the low hanging fruit, beat that, then achieve the next person? Because I think a lot of people are setting their goals too high. And when it gets into the nitty and gritty, they give up and go back to their old lifestyle.
I think, like, for me, I've been very delusional along the journey. You have to be, because I didn't see it in Redfern. No, make $1 million. If I say I got $1 million in my bank now, people go, far out. Like, I wish I could, right? I wish I could at Redfern too, but to do that, you have to be delusional. You got to set your sights far and beyond. But the biggest thing is, I call it the one thing strategy. Just focus on one thing. What's the first step? So for you, back on that under thing, just launch it. And guess what? We're going to deal with it as we go. We're not making sales. Let's market more. We're not. We're marketing every single day, posting 3 times a day, and nothing's happening. What's our messaging behind that? What's our core positioning, et cetera, et cetera? You're starting to build into it and actually understand it, so that you speak it to the world. And that comes down to how you're built as an individual. And you've got to be, especially men, pride and ego. Like, I don't know how to run a gym. I'll ask him. He owns a gym. I'm buying a gym. What are your thoughts on this? How would I operate? And just because I don't like what he might have said, Morgs, you don't have the tenacity to keep going. If I take pride and ego and say, how would I build tenacity then? If not, I'll say, bro, see you later, bro. I don't even want your advice. I'll make this gym work, and I won't. Like, I might, but I'm more likely, if he's been successful, he's running a power gym, why wouldn't I listen? Like, he says you need more tenacity. But when he says that, gives you a solution to it as well, and said, my first thing is this one thing. And when I implement that, or I gave that to him and he implemented it, I'll give him the second one, because he respected my time and advice. And if you don't, I wish you all the very best. Now I edit and delete my relationship. The second part to it is, I'd say, follow through on everything. Everyone just slings out. I'll meet you at 9 o'clock. Yeah, we'll meet Sunday. And they don't even follow it up. Hey, Georgie, let's catch up, bro, Sunday. And then don't even message him.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? How you function in one area is how you function in every area. So if I say Sunday, I'll meet you, bro, I'm going to text you on Saturday, that's what I'm doing. That means I'll follow through. And the greatest way to start that is your alarm clock every morning. That's your opportunity, that your word is your bond. Integrity means something to your life. Because if you don't, alarm, bang, snooze it, you already crushed your own integrity and you crush your confidence. Competence builds confidence. And if you just don't show up to it, guess what you're going to fucking do every day? Oh, I don't believe, Georgie, you're trying to sell me something. Oh, don't try and tell me how to train, bro. I know how to train and I'm not even training. Smallsy, I know you train every day. You're obsessed. So I start deflecting because I didn't take the action that I'm embarrassed about. Learn to get rid of your pride and ego. Learn to sit with yourself and say, you know what, I actually could learn something if I just actually take the advice. But as men, start to share a solution to the problem, not say to Georgie, you need more tenacity, your gym's not going to work. Because I'm putting him down. I want to lift him up as a brother, grab his hand, men grab other men and say, hey, bro, one thing I definitely recommend is building your tenacity. Best way to do that is X, whatever that may be for the individual. So follow through, be a man of your word. Integrity is everything. Make your word your bond. So that when people, you ever had someone show up at 9:15 when they're meant to be at 9 o'clock every single time? You go, George is always late. Smallsy, bro, get there at 9:30. Do you know what I mean?
It's disrespectful.
100%. And then it's disrespectful to them, but it starts with yourself. You're disrespecting yourself. And that means that you don't really care about your life. How are you going to show up to life when you disrespect yourself? Because you've got to make what I call daily deposits. When are they going to happen if you don't have respect in it? I don't respect my body. I don't respect
I've got this
time.
thing. It's funny you talk about that, Morgo, because at home, I've got this obsession with, sometimes you're walking through the house and you see a pair of undies on the ground or socks. In your head, you're thinking, fuck that.
The missus will get it.
Or that's not my problem. Or I didn't see
100%.
it. Or I didn't see it. That is a test.
Absolutely.
Pick it up.
And I say to my kids, I'm like, I've known you walk past that half a dozen times. I've left it there deliberately to see if you pick it up. They're the little 1%ers.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, we discount that as being something that will build a successful business.
Yeah, I agree with
I'm
that. It
telling
starts
you,
at home, I reckon.
because that's clutter. And that
Yeah.
means, like, say that staff member's causing dramas, you go, "Oh, don't worry about it." Poison, cancerous to the next staff member, now you got two.
you got a
Now it's
headache, yeah.
spreading.
Yeah.
And the headache is George is no good as an owner or
Yeah.
something of that nature. It's you not showing up to work on time. You didn't get paid for the extra hours because you went home early and it
Yeah.
was on camera. But now he's such a prick. He's this, he's that.
It's easy to deflect, right?
100%,
Yeah.
rather than just saying and then that could come down to what systems does George have in his systems. Well, Jim, I'm tipping, gave you some systems that they operate from. Here's the standard. When you sign up as a member, when you gym hours, how you clean your gym, whatever it may be. If you don't have those systems, your staff are going to cause you massive stress. That comes all the way back to those socks. It's like, it's not my business. Me, I come home last night from touch football, or I was tagged, and I'm tired. I take my clothes off, the shower's in the bedroom, and I walk it out to the lounge room. I want to just go straight from the shower to bed, but I pick it up, walk it straight out, put it straight in the laundry, because it's discipline. And if I'm disciplined there, guess what I'm going to do with my gym session when I couldn't be fucked?
Yeah.
Guess what happens when the business has got all stress in it? Who's going to show up? Me, because I'm disciplined. And it's easy. It's just a natural habit. Yeah, what are we doing now? Let's do it.
It does start at home. Honestly, I'm such a believer in that.
Yeah.
It's the little things that matter.
Absolutely.
100%.
Brian Tracy, you know who Brian
Yeah.
Tracy is?
No.
Gun, right?
Yeah.
Oh, have a look at his stuff. He's got a saying, do it now, do it now, do it now.
Yeah.
And when I couldn't be fucked, it's a little tool I use. I like that 1 minute reset book, same thing I do. I'm just like, I couldn't be bothered taking that out to the lounge room. My mind's saying that, but I'm like, do it now, do it now, do it now. And what happens is that's how you operate, at speed. Not waiting for tomorrow, do it later on, right here, right now. And if you've got a list, prioritize the list. If there's 10 in the list, here's the order. You get through 3 in a day, beautiful. Don't overwhelm yourself. Going back to that, aiming so high, there's 14,000 things to open world gym.
Yeah.
Just do the one thing. We've got to paint it today, or do the flooring or whatever. Then we do the painting. And think about how houses or apartments are built. They do it in a specific order. They, survey it. I got no real idea about it, but survey it and lay the concrete and, do
you're right, step
each
by
step.
step, yeah.
And they know what steps go in order. Do that sequence for your own life around what you want out of your vision, purpose, and why, and make that your mission, and watch what happens.
Yeah.
Roll out.
Well,
We've usually three
Went
quarters through
quiet
the
now.
show. Morgo.
mate, I'll tell you what.
There's a segment that I know you've been deflecting.
George, do it now, do it now, do it now.
Hey,
now, that's
yeah.
right.
Let's
Like
go.
this-
Let's go.
this
Let's
relates.
challenge that.
I'll tell you
This
what, you've dreamed me
relates.
up. I'm going to take a little bit more out of that chili.
And the purpose of this challenge is to highlight that life can throw you curveballs.
Oh,
That's how you react to
absolutely.
curveballs. And George always struggles, but do it now, right?
Let's go.
So what we're going to do,
It's not
we've
fun,
got the new
Jeffo.
chili. Oh, sorry, you've got the new sniffing salts. We've got the old and the new. The Jack, this one's, I had a whiff of this before I came. It's pretty potent. It's a proper whiff. So what we'll do is what are we doing, chili or sniffing salts first, George?
I've got the chilies first.
We'll do the chili. So
Oh,
we'll do
what,
a chili.
they're both that bad? I love it. Mate, let me
Brother,
tell
it is
you,
not fun, Jeffo.
I can tell you that, just so you know, as much as I'm a mindset beast, and I
Yeah.
honestly believe I've
George.
got one of the greatest mindsets in this country. I believe that. And if I don't believe that, then how can I teach it, right? So I'm not a chili person. And just so you all know, it doesn't mean I say, I'm a mindset beast. I still get like my insides are like
You're a bit
George's
antsy, don't you?
face right
yeah,
now.
I'll tell you what, it's not fun, bro.
But you just got to do it.
So,
gotta crack
the
it.
way I'm looking at this, you're
But
a
it's not
mindset.
doing it. It's like just copping it for the whole session after. Now we still got to talk after.
It's all good.
Oh.
That's all
And
part
then
of
it's
the
going to
fun.
drip down your throat. You're going to get the trickle down your throat.
If it helps you any better, last year, and this is good for all men, because we put shit off. I had every time I ate something, man, it was like razor blades going down my throat, and then I'd get the heartburn. I took, Mylanta and stuff like that for 2 years straight, calling that normal, right? So men out there, go and get yourself checked out. I was very blessed. I went to a good mate of mine, Pete. I don't know if you know Pete. He was from over Box HQ too. Long story short, he's a doctor. He said to me, go and get a test. I was like, yeah, whatever. Mrs. goes back in. He goes, is Jeffy? And he goes, no, why? He goes, oh, mate, he could have colon cancer. And
wow.
long story short, as men, we put it off quite a lot. Lucky I went and got tested because I had all ulcers here and here, and that's why I was getting that burning stuff. So the one thing they say don't do is chilies, right? But I've had to order medication. I've taken it. I'm not a fan of medication. I'd rather do things naturally. But it has helped me. I don't feel it anymore, which is great. We're about to test it.
But I tell you what, if
This is natural
if I
as
said
well.
that small, we'd be asking for a doctor's certificate.
there you go.
Do it now. Do it now.
Doing it. So what are we doing with
So,
chomping this?
Smash it.
one at a time because the camera can only pick up one person at a time.
Yeah.
Start with you, Morgo.
Oh, I love that.
I
I eat that.
Start. Go. Go, Jeffro.
No, being a mindset beast, there should be no
we're
reaction.
in.
No reaction whatsoever.
We're going to eat.
There you go.
Right, let's go. All right, Morgo's down. George, whole thing, mate. Can you please bite the whole? Better. Oh, they've been brewing for
And we met that hurt.
Yeah, that's all right. So now the sniffing salts, Morgo.
Sniff.
They got two choices. One's been brewing for a little while. So take your pick. Which one?
They're both shit.
Throw
They're both shit.
me one.
All right. So if you take the lid completely off, the smell will escape. So that there's fumes inside there. So unscrew the lid close to your face.
Yeah.
Crack the lid and have it like that. Like that.
Whoa.
All right, which one do you want?
You go.
I'm doing this one. So this one's got the special security cap on it. That'll put on there to keep the
What
smell.
is that for?
It's shit.
Is that for lifting?
Oh my god.
Oh.
That's just not-
There's like wet fumes
Have you
coming out of
tried
that. George, come on. So you're right, George? You with us? Academy Award. So Jeffro, discipline means a whole host of things that a whole different lot of people, right? Let me get my
Yeah.
Don't touch your
my
eyes.
thoughts here.
Touch your eyes with
No,
your hands. You got the chilies
I'm
on.
doing it.
Oh.
Usually discipline means, when people talk about discipline, it's usually related to training. But in life, what does discipline mean to you?
Oh, I'd say discipline. The most important thing for most people, I find, is discipline in life is to know what you want as a quality of life. A lot of people, when I say quality of life, the independence without medication to be able to do the things you want until the age that you want. So if I'm 100, you look at the Japanese, who I study quite a lot, they live long lives. What are they able to do throughout their life, and how long are they able to sustain it? And we talk about Aboriginal people dying earlier in Australia. The thing about them is, or us, I should say, is that we're on medication. Our quality of life is, far less than. We always study the gap between when we die and when non-Aboriginal people die. But I'd love for the study to include how we function between, my auntie died in her 50s, 60s, and in between there, and for the 20 years prior, she was in a wheelchair. And, what quality of life? And that's not like from some disease that crippled her. That was from how we chose to live life. And when I say chose, more ingrained as a normal way of life. And that discipline for me allows me to function where I'm not buried early. I can spend time with the loved ones, including myself. I'm the greatest version that I should love first, because if I don't love me, how am I going to love you as friends? I'll meet you that night. I don't give a fuck when I want. When you do that more often, that's the greatest discipline you could ever have. Show it. The discipline for life is the discipline for yourself. And it's hard to do as men, self-love, self-care, self-worth, because what's your face, and what do you do for your face every night? People are, jump in the shower and have a shower, bro. What are you talking about? But if you said that to a man, they'd say, oh, I don't want to do that for whatever reason. Now, in saying that, like, what is your facial care, or do you understand that? And it might be, I don't want to put products on my face because it absorbs into the skin, etc., and it might have X, Y, and Z in it, versus the next person saying, what I actually do is make sure I get 10 minutes of vitamin D, I'm in the ocean, etc., and that's their way of doing it. That's discipline. To know what's important to yourself, to live the greatest quality of life.
It's not just age related, the quality at an age.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I'll say this, would you travel more if you could?
Yeah,
With the loved
100%.
ones? Everyone, like, if I ask that question at conferences, everyone does, right? Or whatever it is, your hobby. Would you do your hobby more if you could without worrying about life? And money went in your account while you're doing your hobby.
Yeah.
You'd love to do it. Every one of us would love to do it. That's what discipline does. When you show up to the shit that you don't want to do, I call it do what you want, when you want, with who you want, as much as you want. I could go to the airport today and say, I'm going to go to South Africa. Business class or first class flight, here, tap, buy it it online. And I did. Last time I travelled to Bali, actually, if you ever been to Bali, you got to have a flight back.
Yeah.
I didn't have the flight back. And I'm checking in business class counter. She goes, oh, do you have your flight back? I'll go, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't. I'll book it right now. And to be able to do that and then business class back without looking at how much have I got in my account.
Yeah.
And trust me, even at Box HQ, bro, I was
Yeah.
going through struggles. I went through a big struggle after it.
Yeah.
I had $16.45 in my account. I never forget, from the servo just up the road. And I went there and $16.50, and I'm scrounging around for 5 cents. That's what discipline, the difference between undisciplined in all pillars and aspects and elements of your life. Because I was great at training. I had the body fucking of Adonis.
Yeah.
But I didn't have discipline around finances or, relationships and all of the above. I ended up causing big stress with the girl I was with at that time because I cheated on the girl. I was still built of the old self then, and it taught me lessons. I was like, man, this is just heartache and pain. Like, it really hurt me during that period. Box shut down. I lost my partner. My brother had died by suicide. Man, it was hectic, and that's discipline of life. And I'm talking every pillar. Like, so think about your finances, relationships, your kids or your partners, your friends, balance of life, and then tap into those vision, purpose, and why behind each of those, and a mission behind each of those. That's the pyramid of success, and watch what happens. Priceless.
I just want to go back to that. Sorry, I know it's a bit of a touchy subject. I've lost a few boys during COVID, like to suicide. It's a tough pill to swallow, bro. I just want to know how do you cope with it, man? Like, especially a family member, bro. That'll be such a dark time, man.
Man, like, even then, I think it was 216 box shut.
Yeah,
Around
216
then.
around there. Yeah.
That's when I'd say when you don't have the emotional intelligence or half out of stress, heartache, pain, suffering, PTSD, depression, whatever it is, trauma, you sit in it all. But for me now, I look back on it and say, like, even my brother died 2 years ago from lung cancer, another brother. And when I got to the hospital and hearing him just like struggling to breathe normally, I was like, I always reframe, and it's very hard to do. It's happening for you, not to you. What's it teaching you right now? And I go through this LGP, learn, grow, prosper process of anything that's traumatic, stressful, heartache, even with staff as an example. What's it teaching me? How do we learn from it? How do we grow from it? How do we prosper from it? And when you write these out, my brother is an example. Far out, I'm blessed to have great working lungs. My brother who committed suicide, I'm blessed to have life. So when I wake up and I couldn't be fucked, I'm like, you know what? My brother would pay unlimited money to be here right now.
Yeah.
The creator, whoever you believe in, says, hey, I'll send you back to earth, but you got to see this video here, and you like, and it say it's you, George, you're playing for the Roosters, you're Dalian forward of the year, all of that stuff. You've got a good life, you're loving life, traveling with your family, kids are, and you go, oh, that's me. But it wasn't my life. And said, yeah, it was your dreams.
Yeah.
You could have had all that. And you're like, oh man, really? And he said, yeah, but you doubted yourself. If I send you back now, I'm going to reverse time. Will you live at this time? everyone's going to say, yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm going to just run towards it. Give me another crack. Send me back down there. So it's really about, you've got to challenge everything that comes up that wants to store your life. And you just got to run towards it. We're all scared of something we don't know.
Well, that's the thing. We've only got one life. We only got one shot. And when you're 20 years old, you think you got all this time. But then when you get to 44, 44,
Yeah.
52,
Yeah.
it is limited.
Can I ask you
100%.
this? If
Yeah.
you reversed it now, knowing what you know, what would you give advice to a 20-year-old kid? If you could give him one piece of advice, what would it be?
Give up the drink and drugs.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also patience. Patience is
I-
big. Be
So
patient.
now I break that down as an individual and say, so what is that? Is that focus? Is their focus is in the wrong area? So then I'd say make sure your focus is geared towards the life you
Yeah.
truly
Well, you got a
want.
limited opportunity when you're trying to make footy, right?
100%.
If it's affected by partying, trying to chasing Sheilas and all that, it's obviously not good. But the exciting thing, you can't put this head on a younger version of you shoulders. But what you can do with your boys, you can mold your boys into who you weren't. So that's the exciting thing. And I always say to my son, like he's the same height as me now, he's 14. He's making a real effort to cuddle me all the time because he knows he's as tall as me. Like he's showing off. He goes, I'm as tall as you. My hands are bigger than you and my feet are bigger. I said, mate, I want you to be better than me.
Yeah.
Don't think I don't. I
Yeah.
really, really do. I want you to be
Love
6'3"
that.
and fucking
Yeah.
an Adonis. And as I said to him
Love that.
when he was probably
Yeah.
12, good looking rooster. This is my older son. My younger son's good looking rooster as well. I said, mate, you are everything I wish I was growing up. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I said, look at you. Good looking, loyal, funny, got your mates
Yeah,
back.
good.
I'm like, that's everything.
Yeah.
100%.
And I suppose it's rewarding as a father looking at what you're creating through doing hard things with your kids.
Love
But
that.
that's obviously rewarding as well. But
I think going back really quickly on that to everybody about, what should you do or how, without the overwhelm, just be like good for yourself.
Yeah.
First. That's the biggest
Yeah.
one. Because
Yeah.
if you can't be good for yourself, you won't be good for your business
Yeah.
or relationships or whatever it is. It all starts with you. And if your son's of those qualities, what are the qualities that you see in others that, like I always say, draw a circle. And if I seen that in you, I'd say, oh, Smallsy's great family man. And what he does, he spends time with his kids, tells them how good they are and encourages them. So I'd plug that into myself, put that in the circle. The way I grew up, if I had that circle, was violence, anger,
Yeah.
stress. So now how do I remove that? And sometimes you've got to challenge who taught you that. And that might mean my family or my community who, as the Aboriginal flag, I'd fight for this country to the end. If you said
Yeah.
they're coming to attack this country, I'd gather all their Aboriginal warriors and say, let's go to, or their non-Aboriginal warriors and say, let's go to war, let's protect the country.
I love that. Like we're one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate the separation bullshit. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it in my world.
Yeah.
And I know it probably goes on, and I think the media makes it a lot worse than what it is. But
Well,
I
these
don't
days
see
you
it.
don't see it much anymore. But back when we were playing, mate, it was a problem back then. But now I think everyone's sort of woken up. Everyone's on the same page, bro. You know what I mean?
I hope
I'd say
so.
that the country's still like...
It's still healing. it's still healing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think, it's this a whole nother podcast, but
Yeah.
it's like the government, man, if you have a solution to a problem and you don't action it, you're part of the
You're
problem.
part of the
I
problem.
don't care what you
They
say.
want the
and who-
racism and that, don't they?
100 divided between nationalities, races. If Bondi, the shooting Bondi at Bondi Beach, hadn't had a Muslim man saved, mate,
Oh, there'd be
imagine
drama.
the front pages
There'd be
and
drama.
imagine what would happen. And I mean this nicely to, as you said, Smallsy, human beings, every one of us in this country, if we're Australian, right, or Aboriginal Australian, whatever way you want to put it, because there are two maps. There's First Nations and there's all our tribes, right? And laid on top of that is New South Wales, Queensland, and we're all proud of the country. How do we all be proud together to make sure that this nation moves forward united? More unity and community, I call it. Because what happens is we just fight about our values. So Aboriginal people fight about the Aboriginal flag because we're passionate. We're proud of our country. And then people that have got the Australian flag, we're proud of Australia. And we understand it, right? But what will happen is it goes like this.
Yeah.
And we think that we're fighting each other, but what we're not doing is understanding one another. And if we understand one another, and I'll give you a quick breakdown on it. would you want us to stick up for women and children in this country if they were ever abused,
100%.
hurt,
No doubt.
being attacked, whatever? Hemingway, do you know who Hemingway is?
No.
We're not taught it in schools, right? Hemingway was the first warrior that stood up in this country for women and children who were attacked for no reason. Shot on beaches, factual in journals by
Was he
Captain
an
Cook,
Aboriginal man?
Arthur, Philip. Yeah, he was an Aboriginal man. There's a big photo. He looked tanked. He looked like he'd been on the roids.
Yeah.
But he stood up for women and children, right? And this is, I'll take it back. Hemingway. So I'm not going to say Aboriginal man, just a man stood up for women and children because someone was doing the wrong thing. Even, if you invite me in your house and I steal stuff out of your house, you're never coming back to my house. Agree? Same thing. So we're saying you're welcome to the country, be nice, and then disrespecting culture or how your house runs. I'm like, this is how I do it. Then we're going to fight with each other. Like in that, you're going to say, you're not welcome to my house. What is that, Smallsy? Just be respectful in an environment. And I always say, if you had a circle, do what is right, not who is right, for the best interest and outcome of the environment, that circle. And that means like we fight who's right. Aboriginal flag's better than the Australian flag. Well, Australia is better when we all get on with each other, right? And as I said, going back to the government, could they do better? Yes, they could. And why aren't you doing better? Like, it's a simple fix.
What's the solution with the flag and the conflict and the national anthem, do you think?
I think, like, if everyone knows the true history of the country, and just to clarify what I spoke about, we're not taught in schools to the point where I go in the Aboriginal community, so people don't go, oh, he's getting at non-Aboriginal people. I go to Aboriginal communities and ask them, do you know who Hitler is? And they go, yeah, every kid. And I go, do you know who Hemingway is? And they go, no. So our own community don't even know. How are we going to have a conversation of an informed conversation so you make an educated choice when we're uneducated and ill-informed in that circle? Remember? So that's what's happening. So if we go back and look at it, we've got statues of blokes actually in journals that have been part of bad stuff. I'm not even going to talk about it, but I guarantee if we treated women, we'd be in a court system and probably not locked up for long because they don't lock you up for long for stuff like that, but they should be locked up for life, right? And we've got statues in major parks that everyone goes, oh, how good's that Captain Cook and Arthur and Philip? There's journals that they wrote in the libraries or the National Archives that anyone can access, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, and you can read it and go, that's disgusting. Even the Queen was in on it.
Yeah.
And once we all understand that, take the statues down. Why would you have statues up of rapists? That's it. Or part of rape culture.
Yeah, start with
right?
that.
We're
And
brainwashed at school. Like, it's history is his story, right? It's just a version.
And
I was talking to Bodie about this the other day. I'm like, some of the crap we learn at school.
it's
It's
crazy.
just
We're learning about
indoctrinated, right?
Hitler, and when we learn about it, don't learn about black and white. I don't do that shit, right? You're a human being.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
what race you are. You're good or bad. You're respectful or disrespectful. You're destructive or constructive. You're negative or positive. Remember the circle? I want positive, I want constructive, hey, George, I love what you've done with World Gym. Congratulations, brother. How can I help? When you got 10-week challenges, tag me, bro. I want to share your stuff and help you get to the world. What, you're Lebanese and you're Muslim or whatever he is, you're Christian, I'm Muslim. I don't do that shit. Just be a good human being, man.
That's right.
And taking you back to that whole conversation of Bondi, we got these anti-Semitism laws. Great, protect human beings, right? But protect everyone. Aboriginal
100%.
people getting smashed, and they talk about hate laws. Do you know why Aboriginal people were upset? Talk about hate laws. No one got charged on Australia Day, and if you go through the comments, I could give you 10 pages really quickly, and you could see hate on hate on hate.
Yeah.
Go and arrest everybody. And like, if you're going to talk about arresting people, I'm all for it, and also arrest Aboriginal people who are doing the same thing, or non-Aboriginal people.
Preaching hate, 100%.
If you're hating, you're hating.
Yeah.
Don't segregate anybody and say for anti-Semitism
That's the
or
problem.
for Muslims or
That's
for
the problem.
Aboriginal people or for Australians. You're for just human beings in Australia who want to live a good life.
Well, that's the thing. When anything
100%
bad goes wrong,
different.
it's this, Australian white man, or it's this Aboriginal white man, or it's this Lebanese white
Middle
man. It's
Eastern
not like
appearance,
there's just this guy
Yeah.
It's always tagged.
Yeah.
You look at, and it's like, I guess their race in the comments, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how we live in this country.
You don't
and
need
then
that.
if I ask that man or woman, do you want respect? And they go, yeah, of course. Okay, bro, like, read your comment.
Yeah.
Is that respectful? So and it comes from what? Lack of education or ill-informed or growing up feeling disadvantaged, isolated, whatever it is, that causes an action, that causes a reaction. And a reaction is, George is, Muslim, and I say, stuff the Muslim. He'd be like, stuff the Aboriginal people then. And we just fight each other rather than walk, Cronulla's up the road. We had the Cronulla riots here.
Yeah.
Imagine just being able to go to the beach and not have to stress and
Not have to worry
get
about
on
any
with
of
each
that
other,
shit.
man. And I play in the Oztag community, and I love it because when you're up there,
Brings everyone together, doesn't it?
yeah, you might argue on the field for a moment, forward pass, bullshit, mate, whatever.
But it's all love.
At the end, it's all love, bro.
It's all love,
honestly,
yeah,
there's
100%.
Lebanese, there's Asians, we don't. There's Muslims, there's Christians, there's gay, there's not. It's your choice, man. Like, just don't impact other people. And when you're in this country, make sure that you keep. My rule is, I'm going to keep your nervous system and your nervous system safe.
I agree with that,
Yeah.
Morgan. I think
Yeah.
if you come to this country, you sort of got to live by the values a little bit. And I did it myself. I used to live in France, and I didn't go there trying to be an Australian. I tried to learn French. I cherished the French flag. I tried to follow the systems that the French people had. So
Just embed yourself into the culture, really.
yeah, like,
you have to.
That's part of the fun.
That's the least you could do for them.
Yeah. So why isn't everyone trying to buy
Yeah.
into that? Like, it's a great place to live. Don't ruin it, right? So
And if you're going to bring old ways, how do we teach? Like, I seen someone going to the toilet on the side of the street, and I was like, "What the heck?" And when I'm talking in the middle of the day on a main road, and I'm like, "Are you stoned or drunk?" In my head, I'm like, "Where did this come from?" It's a social media video, but he said, "Oh, we do it everywhere now where we're from," and he goes, "This is Australia, man. Do it in a public toilet, or I don't know, go and disappear in the bushes like Homer Simpson or something."
Yeah.
But learn how to be respectful in an environment. That's the biggest one. Respect the country. As Aboriginal people, we say respect the country. It's Mother Earth. How would you treat your mother? And would you grab this and say, "I'm finished my drink, throw it down there"? You wouldn't like that if I did that in your home. So as Aboriginal people, when you see that happen, you're like, so from whining, rivers that get dried up, stuff of that nature, it upsets us because you're disrespecting our home. And our home is just as much your home now, and have that same voice and strength behind stuff that's happening to the country. How do we treat it better?
All these conversations all stem back to one word. It's respect.
Absolutely.
Like, it is literally
Yeah.
everything. Just respect
and
the way you live,
and
the
also
way
unity.
we all live different. We're all got different coloured skin.
Yeah.
We're all got different religions. Who
Love
cares?
that.
Who
I
really
feel
cares?
unity is a big thing because if we get attacked, I guarantee you that we're all going to fight as Australians. We're not going to fight as Aboriginals or Lebos or
I
Aussies.
guarantee you.
We're all going to put the Australian uniform on and we're going for it to protect our country.
But you know what, man?
Guarantee.
I don't know about that. I reckon the Australians would be less inclined to fight, more so the Lebanese or the immigrants.
Well, let me tell you,
would be
we're
first in
blessed.
line.
Look, let me tell you something, bro. We're so blessed in this country because everyone's packed up and gone to Dubai this, Dubai that. At the end of the day, mate, Dubai's still the Middle East, brother. Oh, we don't pay tax over there. Mate, we're so blessed here. They dropped the bomb over there and everyone's come straight back over here. Let me tell you, you can't polish a turd, brother. Dubai is still the Middle East. Like, and mate, it's a wild west over there.
I got property in business in Dubai.
Of course
I love
you do,
Dubai.
cash. Of course you do, you cash, brother.
It's a beautiful country, and
It is.
They do. I love how, and their one word is respect.
Oh, 100%.
It's just like, do anything, just don't upset the nervous system of him.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, we don't want that in our country. And I love the principles they live by. And if we did that as a country, going back to that fighting, the Anzacs, when they were at war, imagine I'm at war, and I ask everybody on camera right now, as a man, would you, like, we're in the trenches, someone come. No, I shouldn't say China. Anyone, right? Comes and attacks Australia. And they say, here's guns, defend the country, right? I don't sit in a trench and go, bro, are you Muslim? Are you
Nah.
Aboriginal? Are you Australian? What, you're Australian? You're from Cronulla, sir.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it. Bullets a zing and pie thing, and I'm like, I got you, George. I got
Yeah,
you. Small,
yeah,
go, bruh.
yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. And you hear the stories. I heard stories because I spoke to them, the Anzacs, and even those stories. Have a look at how Aboriginal Anzacs were treated. They weren't even given medals until like recent, from back then versus non-Aboriginal people. They weren't allowed in pubs when they came back. Just stuff like that. That's not how you treat humans respectfully.
Yeah,
Humans.
yeah.
Remember, no black, white. It's just a human.
Yeah.
When we do that and we move forward like that and have that mentality, we'll fight beside each other. And the war is right here, right now. It's already here. People think, oh, wait till someone invades us. We've already invaded ourselves.
Yeah.
There's landmines everywhere. People walk out and go, oh, is that person going to attack me? Or, oh, that person judging me? Imagine you could just walk down the street and feel, I see you. Hey, brother, how are you? How's your day? Yeah, good, bro.
Yeah.
How are you? Not the best. Oh, let's sit down, brother. Or rather than saying, oh, where you from? Cronulla, and having that attitude, you've already created stress in your life before you walk out the door, and your reticular activating system is filtered to look for that thing that you're looking for. And if that's heartache, pain, suffering, which you're giving yourself, imagine living that for all your life. Painful. And we're doing that in this country right now.
Yeah.
All of us, every single one of us.
If you could pinpoint the best piece of advice you've ever been given from a mentor, family member, business coach, whatever, what would it be? In life, business, health, fatherhood?
I think probably the relative more so to me would be focus on the internal, not the external. So growing up as a kid, F the government, it's the police, these white people, that. I was never that person though. I wasn't white people. I was just like, oh, if you're not with Aboriginal people, you're against us. Because you should know the history. And then when you get old enough, you're like, oh, people don't understand. They're not educated. I was fighting a losing battle every single day. The internal is you and what you want from this world. We just don't do it. Like if I say to people, even yourselves, show me the time you got in yourself for personal development, people go, might have the gym in there, but that's it. Like when did you read a book about finding peace? Have you ever Googled, even ChatGPT or use any form of AI, 10 things to stop cancer, heart disease, diabetes? So 30 things in total, and then put them into your weekly planner. Because most people will say, oh, I don't want to die early, but they never research it. Do you know how to?
Yeah.
And you'll get the general, don't eat fast foods or, too much sun or whatever it is, stress. But how do you actually manage stress when it comes up? Because you can say, don't get stressed. Stress is coming. It's a minefield. The war's already here. How do you deal with stress when it comes up? And people if you don't have a strategy or an exit, there's the exit there. How are you going to exit something you don't even know where the exit is? Because there's too much smoke. It's too much stress causes smoke. And now I'm sort of in this, where's the exit? Whereas if you know and you've got 10 exits, I call it a layered approach, just walk out that door there. And George, as long as he's known me, I've always been that calm operator because I'm thinking those steps ahead. Go out on the football field, I already know if I run an unders line or something and the person jams, my next move is a right foot step. Why? Because if he's jamming hard, he's got to come across hard. As soon as he's in my position where I want him, I just go bang, step. And they're like, Morgs, how do you think like you make so many breaks? I've already thought about his next move.
I'm dropping a hip.
Also instinct. Also instinct. After you've made the move so many times, it just comes to you naturally.
Absolutely. But I'm also thinking about what's the next person doing. And you look at the great players, Nathan Cleary,
George Azzi.
Joey Johns, George Azzi, I forgot, sorry, brother. But they're thinking those steps ahead. Like if I get to here and the fullback comes across, right foot step at what time, and then it becomes instinct. That's what you want to do in life. You want to make it a part of your DNA. So it's like a tattoo about, you ask the word discipline or accountability, responsibility, ownership. That is all
loyalty.
Of you. Love that.
Yeah.
So what's loyalty look like to him? And I'll ask him, I go, wow, I didn't grow up with that type of loyalty towards my kids versus how he's treated his kids. So I'd listen and learn and just sit there
and take it all in.
Zip your mouth and just shut up and listen because he's obviously got kids how many kids you got? Two.
boys.
So he's got 2 boys that he's had great relationships with versus 3 kids that I don't have the greatest relationship with. Zipper, Smallsy. And sometimes I don't even have to ask the question. You could, but maybe it's just going and hanging around him, watching his kids playing football or something. And I go, oh, wow, that's how he, great work, son, or something. That's how I could talk to my son. Mirror that behavior or belief or action. And then, you become a better version of that for yourself.
I think
George,
that's
I'd
like
have to
that.
say this podcast, I've had more gold nuggets than any other podcast we've done.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
The insights and the way you look at life, Morgo, is like incredibly insightful.
Thanks,
and mate,
brother.
thank you so much for coming on. Like,
I appreciate
And
it.
I
People
told you,
never-
Smalley. I told you. I said you got to have this bloke on.
honestly,
You got to,
like,
mate.
this was.
I've been blowing your trumpet for
Yeah.
for a while now,
Thanks,
mate. Yeah,
Georgie. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
How will people get in touch with you, Morgo?
jeffreymorgan.com.au, so it's JEFFREY, and just know, like, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm very humble, he'll tell you. Like,
Yeah.
But I think I've got to be a bit more, and this year I've done that on my socials. So I don't know if anyone ever watches me, they might go, he's a bit angry. It's not anger, it's passion. I want to see people unleash their vision, purpose, and why, and their mission to life. So sometimes I'll get at you on socials, but it's not me being angry or it's me being better. I just want better for you. And when you understand that, it's just that passion's coming through that camera, and I'm showing up every single day, giving it everything I got so that someone doesn't stay there thinking that's the only way. There's more to life. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that your choice of life is right or wrong. You've got to make sure that you've understand all the options of choices to the life that you could truly have and explore those.
The book. Tell us about the book, bro. Before we take off, he's got a book coming out.
Finished the book and sent it to the designer. Big shout out to Esther. She's done amazing with the branding.
Legend, Esther.
And rival, Dane Walker, mate, anyone looking for Brandon, check him out. They're unbelievable. Book's finished and I sent it to him and it comes up 777 kilobytes. So I was like, man, this book was meant to happen. And it's all the lessons that became blessings in my life. So all the destruction into function and all the negative into positive. And it's just about, I'll tell you stories about bank robberies or bits of my life, that I didn't function well at. And don't get it. Understand people, they're sharing journeys of their life that is dead and buried now. So if I was cheating on my partner, I thought I grew up where that was cool. Body count, here we go. And then as you get older, you understand the difference between the old and the new.
Yeah.
I'm sharing those old stories so you can see the context of. The book will be called The Mindset Heist, and it will be probably out in the next 3 months. And it's more, I believe it's called a parable, don't quote me, where I'm telling some stories, but you work on what is your vision, purpose, and why? What is your mission in life?
It's a workbook as well.
Yeah, it's a workbook
Love
from
it.
the get-go.
Love it, bro.
Because I was that humble person. I don't want it to, it's about me in some way, shape, and form, but these lessons of knowledge, they could change your life, empower your life, save your life, and dedication to my brother, sister, my kids that I never had the relationship with, and continuously try to build and be a better person, be a better man, be a better friend, teammate, colleague, whatever it is. So, I want to pass that on to those that don't have it, and don't be me, because I went through a lot of heartache and pain. George has seen that little journey, and you think it's cool at the time to go different girls going at once is one example. What's the one word? Dysfunctional. Do I want to be that? No, I just thought it was cool. Learn that cool is what you truly desire, not what you accept in this life, and you live a good one.
I love you, my brother.
Looking
Champion,
forward to
brother.
reading
Always
that
a
book.
pleasure, man.
Yeah.
You want to finish with any final words there, Georgie?
Just on that, like what he tells you is the old him. Like you hear stories about him being a bank robber, just a street fighter, just a cheat. That's the old him. You know what I mean? Like now he's matured. He's a different bloke, and I think you sharing your stories, brother. It's a breath of fresh air.
I
Jeffrey.
appreciate it. As
You're a
men,
champion, my man.
Do that, like, and understand you're a constant work of development and improvement.
100%.
I'm not perfect, so it's great, all the good stuff now,
Yeah.
7 figures, traveling, buy property here, there, drive this car. I'm not perfect, man. There's days like you call it what you want. I call them lessons that become blessings, but you can call them fuck ups, mistakes, whatever.
Yeah.
We're all gonna do it. Just don't beat yourself up on it. You ever had a bad day? And most
Yeah.
people say they've had a bad day. You chose to put that in your invisible backpack. It was a bad moment. Reframe it and say, what am I learning right now? How do I learn, grow, prosper from it? And then shift the perspective on it, and you'll move forward a lot quicker. That's basically what I'd say to everybody before we finish. Take that away and plug that into your life and live a good one. You deserve it.
Jeffrey Morgan, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. George Azzi, co-host.
Another pleasure having me on the show.
Wow, like
Sexy.
Yeah.
you blew me away again.
Sexy, athletic. That's what we're here
Hybrid
for.
athlete, baby.
All right, guys, wrap it up today's show. Jeffrey Morgan on Instagram if you want to reach out. Amazing coach if you need
Strategist, more so.
Strategist, sorry.
I say that because there's so many coaches.
Yeah, strategist,
Strategist,
not a
yeah.
coach. He's
And I've
beyond
been there,
coach,
done
beyond
that.
Yeah, he's beyond coach.
And you'll see that David Goggins version of me, especially moving forward. Grab your balls, do your stuff. It's not because I'm better. It's not because I'm being a prick. I just don't want people not to live their fullest potential.
Well said.
Yeah, well said, brother.
George Azzi, World Gym, Macquarie Park, soon to be Kirui, then
Thanks,
down the
first brother.
coast.
Roosters.
Those ones underwear are coming soon, I promise you.
I'm going to
Photo
hold you
shoot,
accountable to
Photo
that.
shoot's
Yeah.
done. Content's coming. So
Pull the trigger on us,
look
Morty.
out.
Let's
I'm
go,
pulling
bro.
the trigger. We got 30 days. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. At the end of the day, discipline is freedom. Success does not come from one big move. It comes from the daily choices stacked day in and day out. And that's exactly why everything counts. Guys, if today's show gave you any value, please share it with a mate, leave a review, and leave a comment, and join the movement on our Everything Counts podcast, Instagram and TikTok page. And remember, the man you want to be tomorrow is stacked by the decisions you make today. Until next time, guys, remember, everything counts. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How good's
beautiful.
that?
How'd you go?
I
was
love
fun.
that intro and outro.
Yeah,
hey.
yeah, he's good.
Banger.
He's good, bro.
He's
I love you,
thanks
Habib.
too.
Fuck, you done well, bro.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate
How
that.
good's
and
that?
I appreciate it. I definitely left as much value as I can.
You're a
for you
sick
both.
cunt, bro.
And,
100%.
mate, I'll share the potty and even other times.